Yo, what's up, guys? Damn, I need to drink some water. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Now, Naruto. Not Naruto, Deku. I need to get a couple things out the way before we get started. Deku, of course, is gonna have this leveling system. Except it's gonna be a little bit different than what it was in canon. Now, not Naruto, I keep on saying Naruto. Now, Deku. Essentially, he's going to have black hair. And, of course, he's gonna get betrayed like how Son Jinwoo did in canon. Now, with that out of the way, let's get started. We would see Deku walking with a group of his classmates. He would be talking to Uraraka. He would say, "Oh, Uraraka, so you got any good food places I could go to?" Uraraka would say, "Oh yeah, I go to this really good ramen place. It's so good. Oh my god, their ramen. Oh my god, it is so good." Suddenly, we would see a hole open up underneath them. A purple portal, I should say, would open up. They would all fall through. Uraraka, Ida, Bakugo, Mineta, and essentially, what's that one dude's name? My bad. And Todoroki. They would all fall down. They would be stunned, as Deku would say, Where are we?" Bakugo would reply saying, "Do you think we know, dumbass?" Naruto said, I'm sorry, Bakugo. As Deku, my apologies, I'm so used to saying Naruto instead of Deku. They would all stand up, as they would be trapped in this place, this mysterious place. Deku would be looking around. Suddenly, they would be rushed at by spiders being ridden by goblins and orcs. These orcs would be giants, essentially titans. They would be slowly walking towards them as the troops on the spiders would rush at them. They would be throwing crossbows. They would be firing crossbows at them, sending arrows flying in the air. Suddenly, Todoroki would make an ice wall, blocking them. As Ida would say, "What the hell is happening?" Bakugo would say, "No matter, we need to figure out how to get through this alive." This is where an orc would say, "You won't survive." Suddenly, this dark presence would fill the room. The ice would shatter, only to see this orc engulfed in black flames. This orc would have, no pupil. He would just vanish, reappearing behind Ida, slamming him down into the ground, as you'd have a spear stabbing it through Ida, impaling him, stopping him from moving. Blood would start to seep out of Ida, leaving him in a pool of his own blood. Suddenly, you would hear, "Die!" He would turn, only to catch an explosion to the face, as dust would surround the orc, or the goblin. Pretty sure it's a goblin, my bad. The dust would clear, only to see the orc, not even phased, without a scratch. He would smirk deviously at Bakugo. Bakugo would feel this fear His body would be telling him to escape, getting out of there, but he couldn't move. Suddenly, the goblin would extend his hand out. Chains would yank Bakugo towards him. As arrows would rain down again, Todoroki would be focused on trying to get Bakugo back. As Todoroki would say, "Burn!" As flames would start to engulf him, leaving Bakugo getting slightly burned on his face, and I mean very much slightly. Nothing. How do I say this? Irreversible, but nevertheless burned a little bit. This is where Deku would be impaled by an arrow. He would collapse to the ground. Uraraka would say, "Deku!" or running over. She wouldn't be able to move. All of them would be frozen. Suddenly, we would see the goblins clear, and the orcs moving out of the way. Only to see this absolute titan of a goblin walking through them. He'll be wearing, that classic king's, robe, I guess. You could have a crown on his head, as he'd be carrying a scythe. He would then say, "I offer you this. All we need is one person to die, and we'll let you guys go. Your friend over there is not dead, at least not yet. If you refuse this offer, then all of you will die. So, I will offer you this." Damn, nigga! Damn, oh my god, bro. Garbage coon, get the fuck out of here. My bad. So, you have to pick one person to die for all your lives. Deku would immediately be pointed out. Ida would say, with the strength he could muster, "Deku, I'm sorry." Uraraka would say, "I'm sorry, Deku." Bakugo would say, "I'm sorry, you idiot." As all of them would point at Deku, Deku's eyes would widen and say, no, not me. He wouldn't be able to speak, as the Goblin King would bring down his scythe, cutting off his head. He would begin to laugh before picking up now the decapitated Deku's body, or drinking his blood. Deku would look at the goblin with his last strength, looking at him. He would then say, he would mouth to him, "I'm gonna kill you." As he would die, Deku would now be floating in this black void. He would say, "What the hell? Where am I?" Suddenly, words would appear. One word would be green, the other would be red. As text would appear in front of Deku. "Do you wish to have a second life?" Naruto would say, "What?" Not Naruto. Deku would say, "What? A second life? What do you mean?" New text would pop up. "You'll be granted a new life. You'll be granted a second chance. You'll also be granted power. Power unimaginable. Power that would surpass that of All Might, the number one hero. All Might in his prime, matter of fact. His absolute peak, you would be able to surpass." Deku's eyes would widen as you'd say, "What the hell?" This is where he would say, or the text would say, make your choice. As the timer would count down from 1 minute to 0. Deku would contemplate this for a good 30 seconds before clicking yes. Suddenly, Deku would wake up in the dungeon. His body would now be, well, back together. The orc would look down at him, as his friends would have been teleported away. Well, his ex-friends. Deku would get up as you look at them, as you now have a menu built into as well. Brain, I guess you could call it. This is where Deku would say, die, as you suddenly bring out a scythe before rushing at them. As he'd vanish, reappearing behind one of the orcs, slicing off his head. I would fall onto the ground with a loud thud. Now this is where I'm gonna end off part 1 to not Naruto, damn it, fucking hell, shit, bitch, cocksucker, pussy asshole. My bad. What if Deku was Sunjin's Wu's reincarnation? It is none other than, well, Ryu EX. And the reason why I kept on messing up is because I normally don't make Deku what ifs, and I'm out. Peace.